this morning. He just got out of jury duty. Have you been able to talk to your dad? Have you found anything out yet? And what's your take on what this gentleman who has a book that came out 2 days ago is saying about your father, Tyrell?
No, I have not been able to talk to my father at all. Like I said, he's traveling in Mexico right now, and there's obviously no cell phone. You know, cell phones don't work in the desert and things like that. So I have not been able to get a hold of him to ask him about the accusations and the incident that this guy is referring to. Obviously, I have, the utmost respect for this man's service record and things like that. And I want to be clear that I don't know anything about the story that he's talking about. I've never heard anything about that. It certainly doesn't. I've never ever heard my father ever make any kind of remark about wishing American soldiers dead. I have never heard him ever say anything in that nature. So it does sound pretty ludicrous to me.
Also, I did some research. He was there at that Navy SEAL bar, reportedly with hundreds of people in it. It's a big place there on the beach. In 2006, he was speaking to a BUD/S class, and I saw people commenting on the different SEAL sites and stuff saying they were there the whole day and that this never happened, and that even if they weren't there, this would have been talked about. This would have been known. And there's people posting photos they took with your dad there that day. That was when he had the Johnny Depp, pirate, a beard and everything.
Yeah, it would be pretty shocking to me that if somebody were to assault my father in a bar, that we wouldn't have heard about it sooner than, however many, 6 years, 7 years later. It seems pretty wild that an incident like that would go down the way he said. That we wouldn't have heard about it in 2006 or 2007 or it seems weird that something of a violent nature, the way he's describing.
By the way, I met your father for the first time 1 week after when this incident happened, because that's when they were there for a Congressional Medal of Honor winner SEAL who died in Iraq. I met your father 1 week after this event, and I did an interview with him. And it's on video. I can testify there was not a mark on his face, and he was probably in the best shape he's been in a while. That's probably how he blew his hip. He'd been running every day. He was very thin, in good shape. Tan in the interview, no bruises, no nothing. 1 week after this incident, I thought I'd just add.
I never heard about it. Like I said, I haven't been able to talk to Dad directly or anything like that, so I don't know what his take is on this yet. All I can say is that I've never heard of it before. It's my best recollection. I'm pretty sure that if my dad was punched in a bar, I would have heard about it.
In a packed bar.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I would have heard about that, but obviously it's well documented his feelings about the Iraq War and our involvement in it. Obviously, it's well documented about his feelings about President Bush and Vice President Cheney. So that side of the conversation that this guy supposedly heard, I can say, yeah. I've heard him, not in that particular incident, but I have heard my dad's feelings on that, as opposed to my dad ever saying anything about wishing American soldiers dead or saying they deserve to die or anything of that nature. It does not sound like my dad, and it doesn't sound like anything he'd say.
Well, I have seen him when SEALs have been killed. I talked to him privately. He was very upset, with the camaraderie and everything.
Well, that's why he doesn't want the wars. He doesn't want anyone getting killed. He doesn't want soldiers getting killed. He doesn't want civilians getting killed. He doesn't want anyone getting killed. And so it would, like I said, it doesn't sound like him.
Well, he's always so respectful of military people in airports and stuff, and he always thanks them for their service and says, I hope we can get you guys home and out of harm's way. And he's worried about DU, and I've seen him when the SEALs helicopter blew up, the mysterious SEAL Team 6 situation. He was upset when I talked to him privately. And just imagine, here's their family. Please stop. It sounds like it's scripted to make him look bad. Here's the family, Jesse, Governor. Please stop talking bad about the SEALs. No, I'm glad they're dead. That is just, I do not believe that.
It's so out of character of him that I can't imagine that's what happened. Like I said, I haven't talked to him, so I have no idea. But it just seems so out of character for him to wish harm upon his fellow SEAL team members. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, it's interesting this guy's got a book out right now. And that he would announce this now that the book came out, and that he would say that he punched him, it knocked him down, but not out, and that he then ran away, and that the SEALs teach him to punch and run away. I mean, that sounds like a joke.
Like I said, I don't know much about the guy himself. Obviously, he's a veteran. It doesn't. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I mean, that part of what he's described doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I don't know.
Reportedly, some of your dad's.
I mean, in terms of talking about like whether SEALs get trained to punch and run away or not, I'm not a Navy SEAL. I don't know.
That's ridiculous. Well, sure, you obviously throw a hand grenade and run away, but the point is,
well,
look. What is, your dad probably better than anybody. You've worked with him as an assistant and then as a director, but your own films you've made separate from that. You're a producer on the TV show, everything. Great cinematographer, everything. You work with your dad constantly, and I know you don't probably want to repeat what you told me last night, but your words were, "This is pure BS." After you saw the first video, and correct me if I'm wrong, but then you went on to say, "I'm not looking forward to telling my dad about this."
Well, of course not. My dad never likes to hear people speaking ill of him. I mean, nobody does. He just is getting down to Mexico. He's, going to kind of recharge. You hate to deliver bad news like this, but somebody's saying, negative things about you, and really, saying that you were involved in a violent altercation and that, you were wishing harm to servicemen. He doesn't want to hear that, and I know that really upsets him when he hears things like that.
Doesn't this sound like about the nasty...
When he hears things that are potentially false, he doesn't like it when people speak falsely about him.
Now, it could be, like we talked last night, maybe part of it's true. Maybe they did get in an argument. Maybe, I mean, that part perhaps could be true. We don't know because Jesse Ventura's out of...
No, I haven't talked to him, so I don't know. But, my dad is not afraid to voice his opinions about current events and things like that.
But there's no way he would say, especially in front of a family, I think SEALs deserve to die. I mean, that is clear bull.
It doesn't sound like him at all, and that does not sound like my father.
Yeah, so, but again,
I haven't talked to him directly, so I don't even know, as soon as I get word about, from him, regarding what this guy's saying, I'll know more about it then. But as of right now, it just doesn't sound like his character, doesn't sound like him.
Well, Ty, we appreciate you taking time out of jury duty right now to do this, and then the few minutes you've got for lunch, we've only got about 5 minutes left here with you.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is now on the heels of 2 weeks ago. I just so happen, I only talk to him like every few weeks, to talk to your dad, about coming on before he left town. And he said, yeah, call me next week. I'm talking to him in Minnesota. I call your Minnesota number. I talk to him. Then the next day it's on the news that, and I hadn't even seen it yet, that he's road raging. He calls into the show to say, I'm here in Minnesota. They didn't really retract it. They just removed it. He said, I hope this isn't a dirty trick. And now we see this happening right when he goes into Mexico. That is kind of creepy.
It is a strange coincidence that the moment that he's out of the country and is unable to directly respond on the same day, is a creepy coincidence. I don't know. The guy's out promoting a book. I saw the interview with Opie and Anthony. Apparently some caller called in to ask about it, which, okay, that's on their word. I don't know. Maybe somebody did. Maybe someone didn't. Who knows?
Come on. It looks staged. You agree with my analysis?
I would say that it definitely, it smells of PR. It smells of publicity. It smells of publicity stunt. But
he also makes fun of your dad and calls him a geriatric. Your dad's in pretty darn good shape.
Yeah. I can't speak for him. I don't know what's in his head, but I do know that, obviously he probably disagrees with my father's opinions on the war and opinions on Bush and Cheney, and that probably upsets him. But it sounds like it does.
Well, let me fill you in on the guy. Of course, the most famous turkey shoot is Fallujah, and he brags about shooting a woman, and he calls them savages. It's pretty incendiary. He's from right here in Texas. He's a good old boy, rodeo bronc, get rider. Chip off the old block, as they'd say. Seems like a nice guy at many levels, but doesn't seem like he's super intellectual or that smart compared to some of the SEALs I know. And he's sitting there he has a mercenary firm out of North Texas that prepares local police to fight insurgents in America. So the whole rollout we see happening. And he advises the U.S. military and is involved with some Israeli groups that advise U.S. military. He's been given awards by a group and works with a group created by Richard Pearl and Dick Cheney. This guy's pretty, you know, what's that?
Sounds like he's a pretty connected guy. You know, like I said, I don't know much about him. I've been kind of on jury duty, so I haven't been able to really follow up extensively with who he is and things like that. I've, you know, been trying to get my rest so I can be a good juror.
If this turns out to not be true, or parts of it, large parts of it aren't, I mean, your dad is not going to just probably lay down and take it.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine he wouldn't lay down and take it. I don't know. I'm not him. You know, but if this is untrue, which it really smells like it is, you know, I'm sure my dad will speak. I don't know. I mean, it's up to him.
Well, he's the only person to ever beat Vince McMahon in a lawsuit. He didn't beat the TSA, but he sure tried. They just wouldn't give him a trial. So yeah, exactly. I know your dad's not litigious, but he's not going to lay down and take this if it's.
I can't imagine that you know. Like I said, I don't want to speak for him because I haven't been able to talk directly for him, and I'm not him. If it was me and I was in a situation where someone were to, you know, make up something completely false and say that I believed in the killing of U.S. soldiers, if it was me, I would. If I was able to bring a defamation lawsuit or something like that, of course I would. You know, but that's me. I'm not my dad, so you know we'll just. Well,
this guy's certainly making himself, you know, a big name, and I guess he'll get some big government contracts out of it, and maybe some big guys told him to go with it, or maybe part of it's true, or 7 years later, 6 years later, his memory's not clear. But, I mean, I just know your dad pretty darn good. You know him a lot better than I do, obviously. And I've seen him talking to troops, getting tears in his eyes, and talking how much he hates troops dying, and the Navy SEALs and the Navy, and how.
Well, that's the very reason that he dislikes the war, is that he doesn't want to see soldiers or innocent civilians getting killed for a war based on lies, and you know, he doesn't. That's why he's against it in the first place. He doesn't want to see people getting killed for no good reason. So that's what I mean. It makes no logical sense to me that he would wish death upon servicemen when his whole stance against the war is that he doesn't want to see servicemen or civilians getting killed.
So basically, we can conceive exactly that your dad may have been sucker punched, and this guy ran off, which he says he did, which is really weird.
I really doubt he was even sucker punched. I don't know. Like I said, I think I would have heard about...
Exactly, but that could be in the realm of possibility, like a Loch Ness Monster, but that he would say, troops need to die, I like it when U.S. troops die, that's in the realm of Easter bunnies.
Yeah. I mean, I could never see my dad saying that, or... even remotely, if he's, I can't even see him saying it sarcastically. But once again, I don't know until I talk to him directly.
Well, and I know you didn't even want to come on and speak for him, but then you changed your mind and said, well, I guess if I can't get a hold of him, somebody's got to respond. I hope the media doing this hit job will at least look at what you've said. And obviously, he called here a few weeks ago on the last fake piece of news that was proven fake. So the line is, Ty, you call me anytime.
I can assure you, Alex, that the moment that I get word from him on what to do, and if that involves, talking to you again or something of that nature, whatever we decide, I will let you know.
Yeah, I'll drive into the studio anytime at midnight, 6 in the morning, whenever he wants to tape an interview or do it live. We're here. Tyrell Ventura, get back to jury duty and get some lunch. I'll call you this evening, bro.
All right, take care of yourself, and great work.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah, I thought this might be true until I learned he's hooked up with Dick Cheney and Richard Pearl, known as the Prince of Darkness, by the way, at the Pentagon.
We're on the march.